Hi, I'm Dr. Gary Palmer of Sports Test. This week I want to start thinking about race day coming up. A little story to start off with. One of the guys that I coach, done 10 Ironman races, raced Kona, so strong athlete, very good athlete, was doing Challenge Wanaka at the weekend. And in the run-up to the Challenge race, he was fortunate enough to meet Joe Lawn. Now, Joe is 7 times Ironman champion at New Zealand. And Joe gave him a very, very useful piece of nutritional information. So Rob decided that, despite having all this experience, that he'd take on the advice of a 7 times champion and tried something new on race day. The result was, despite the fact that he'd had a very solid swim and came off with the 3rd fastest age group of bike split, he lost over an hour on the run with very, very bad gastrointestinal problems. The take home of this is really, you don't try anything new on race day. So we've got just over 8 weeks to go before London Marathon. Really, this is now the time that the runners want to start thinking about marathon prep. And certainly those guys racing Ironman or bigger races in the summer, maybe slightly little bit longer, but again need to think about what's happening on race day. So probably the lessons that we've got to think about. If you're racing Ironman, what you want to be thinking about is getting your bike position sorted, and getting your bike position sorted now. You want your bike position sorted for at least 12 weeks before Ironman. 8 weeks is an absolute minimum, but really we should be looking at 12 weeks before race day. Okay, in the last week or two, yeah, you can do a chain change, you can do a tyre change 7 to 10 days before to check everything's happy. But realistically, the bike position has to be dialed in 8 to 12 weeks before. For the runners out there, and I'm sure you've seen it on, watching the television, runner comes in, nipples are bleeding or hobbling along. Realistically, your kit wants to be chosen at least 6 to 8 weeks before race day. So with spring marathons coming up 8-9 weeks away, now is the time to make sure you know what kit you're racing in. You want to make sure you know that you can run in the shorts that you've been running in and the vest or the t-shirt you're running in. You want to be running in it in training, in your long training sessions, to know that you're comfortable, to know that it's not going to give you any problems, any rubs. You don't want any blisters from the shoes and the socks that you're wearing. Now, of course, you also don't want to be wearing a pair of old shoes that are falling apart. So make sure you've got your race shoes, you use them. You wear them in, you break them in nicely, but you certainly don't go and buy a new pair of shoes 3 or 4 days before the race because your old shoes are falling apart. So blisters, rub legs, bleeding nipples, sore feet, all of those sort of things can easily be overcome by actually making sure that your kit is sorted. On the nutrition on race day, you want to find out what's being provided to you during the actual race. Find out what it is and train with it. And again, I would say you want to be training with it for at least 6 to 12 weeks before race day, and train with it under different conditions, on hot days if possible, on cold days, using it intensity sessions, using it in steady sessions, to make sure that you're comfortable with it, you're not going to get any gastrointestinal problems. Then looking at the race day itself, and I will go into this in a little bit more detail as we near race day, but you want to have an idea of what your pre-race meal the night before should be and what your race breakfast should be. So again, I'd say you try different options in training. You decide on a plan, and come race day you stick with it. Even if it means that, and certainly if you're doing a big race like an Ironman or a big city marathon, if you're stopping in a hotel, it might even be that you need to take your own breakfast with you to make sure you can get what you want for race day. Really, training is about preparing the body for race day. Therefore, change nothing. That's the crucial thing. You practice in training, and training replicates or prepares you for what you're going to do on race day. You'll wander around an expo 2 or 3 days before a big race. Don't be tempted to buy something. This is the latest nutritional product. This is the latest thing to put in your shoes. This is the latest thing to put on your head, whatever. Yeah, you maybe buy it and you try it after race day, but you certainly don't use something new on race day. So really, the next 8 weeks or so for you marathon runners, the next 12 weeks or so for you Ironman competitors, is all about getting your position sorted out, your kit sorted out, so that on race day everything is second nature and your body is used to it. So have a great day, have a great race day. And thanks very much for listening. As I say, I'm Dr. Gary Palmer from Sports Test, and hope to see you soon. Thank you.